Hello, everybody. Welcome to our regular meeting of City Council, Calimesa. We're going to get started here a little different. We're privileged to have Pastor Brad from Garden City Church, and he's going to give us an invocation. So please come forward. You want to stand? Okay. Yeah.
The mayor said, my name is Brad. I'm senior pastor. So we meet Summerwind Trails School. And so we're thankful to be here in the city. Let's pray together as we ask the Lord's blessing on our time together. Father God, we bless your holy name tonight. We thank you that you are a God who governs with justice and leads with love, and we are grateful that you invite us to seek your face in all that we do. Lord, your word declares that where there is no vision, the people perish. And so tonight I ask that you grant this council a vision for what our city can truly become when its leaders are guided by your hand. Let that vision grow in their hearts and shape every vote, every policy, and every decision made in this chamber tonight. We come into this room tonight as people who need your guidance. Pour out your wisdom on Mayor Cervantes and this entire council. Give them discernment that goes beyond their own understanding. And let every decision made in this room be seasoned with truth, overflowing with genuine love for this community. And so we speak blessing over our city, clarity and unity over every person seated here tonight. May they be of one heart and one mind, focused on the good of every family and every worker, every student, every young person, and every elder in our city. God, we thank you for this city. We thank you for its growth, for its potential, and the people you have placed here. And we ask that you make Calimesa a testimony of what happens when a community honors you, a city where your goodness is visible in the streets, in the neighborhoods, and in the halls of our government. Lord, we recognize that lasting change in any city begins not just with legislation, but with transformation that we believe comes from Jesus Christ. And Lord, may that transformation speak loudly as we seek you. Bless our time together. You are invited in this place. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you.
Pastor.
Able to, if you guys can remain standing.
To the flag, United States of America, to the republic, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. So at this time, we'll call our meeting to order, 6:03. And if I could get a roll call, please.
Councilmember Cundiff.
Here.
Councilmember Garcia.
Here.
Councilmember Molina.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Manley.
Here.
Mayor Cervantes.
Here. And for the record, we have our city manager, Cobos, here, our city attorney, Flower, our city clerk, Gertis, finance director, Reed, our community development director, Lucia, our city engineer, Thornton, is present, our deputy fire chief, Shaw, and our sheriff captain, Escobar. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. So at this time, if any members of the public would like to make a comment, please do so by filling out one of these speaker slips and handing it to our city clerk, and we will allot you 3 minutes to make public comment. Please respect the 3-minute time constraint, and as always, be civil and respectful. So at this time, I do have one general speaker slip and then one on item 6. So we'll save item 6 for when we get to that item, and at this general comment, Chris Stark, please.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Chris Stark, and I'm here regarding the County Line and 5th Street Calimesa Creek project and its direct impact on my property and my development. I want to be very clear. This is not just a private property issue. This is a coordination failure that has been ongoing for over 9 years with the city of Calimesa, and it has real financial and liability implications for the city and its residents. Over that time, the project has gone through multiple redesigns driven by changing requirements from flood control, Calimesa, and other agencies. Yet despite that, there has been no consistent coordination with me, even though the project requires an easement through my property and directly affects my ability to develop it, as well as your ability to build your proposed pipe. In fact, I recently learned that the city is moving toward permitting without any finalized agreement or alignment with the property owner most impacted, me. This is a serious concern. At the same time, I've been trying to work through staff to coordinate a solution. What I've received instead is delays, unclear direction, and a lack of accountability between agencies Calimesa and Flood Control. The result is that my project has been materially impacted. What was originally planned as a 14-home development has already been reduced to only 6. This is a significant loss, not just in housing for the community, but financially. It directly impacts the viability of my project and represents a substantial reduction in property value and development potential. Beyond my project, the bigger issue is this: how much time and taxpayer money has been spent over the past 9 years redesigning, revising, and coordinating this project without a finalized, buildable plan that aligns all stakeholders? And if this continues the way it's going, what will it cost the city in delays, redesigns, or even potential claims if construction proceeds without proper coordination? I want to be clear. I am not here to oppose this project. I'm here because I want it done right. I am willing to work collaboratively, coordinate easements, and find a solution that benefits both the city and my development. But that requires leadership and direction, something that so far has been missing at the staff level. So my request to the council is this: please step in and direct staff to bring all parties, city staff, flood control, and myself into a coordinated process with a clear timeline and a defined path forward before any further approvals or permitting occur. Because continuing down the current path is not just inefficient, it exposes the city to unnecessary risk. Thank you for your time.
At this time, we will move to approve the agenda, consent calendar, and waiver full reading of the ordinances. Staff, are there any changes to the agenda or items that need to be modified?
No changes from staff.
Council, anything you'd like to poll, consider?
We're good.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda, consent calendar, and waive the full reading of ordinance.
Have a second?
I'll second. I'll
Oh.
second.
Thank you.
I'll second.
That works. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's 5-0. This time we have our fire chief report.
And staff, hopefully you can hear me okay. As an overview, from this point last year to today, 874 calls were about a 3% rise from 2025. Total call volume is stable with no significant trends or shifts upward or down. Our call demand was EMS or medical for 72% of total calls. Fires were at roughly 22%, and others, including false alarms, are at about 25%. A key point is our workload is predominantly EMS driven. Staffing, training, and deployment all are aligned and continue to be aligned accordingly. Mutual aid responses were 183, which is about a 183 to 17, which is about a 10-to-1 imbalance, which kind of makes sense being about 300 yards or 100 yards from the county line. We go into Yucaipa quite a bit. We're working to reduce that high outbound demand, specifically into Yucaipa, and Yucaipa is actually going to be stepping up this fiscal year as long as everything goes well for them and staffing a medic squad at their Station 3 over on 5th Street. That should help offset some of the amount of times we're going over there as a medic unit. So it's good news. we'll be able to report on that when that happens. And then a response performances, we're averaging about 6.5 minutes of response time from call to on scene. And that's within an acceptable range and within the industry standard. And long-term, that can be and may be addressed within the standards of coverage assessment and our future strategic planning. Key points is our service demand is heavily EMS in nature. Department functions as a net provider, at least for now, being in close proximity to Yucaipa and Beaumont. Overall performance is stable with several opportunities to improve efficiency, and we're working on those. Recommended actions is to continue to refine our dispatch and automatic aid configurations to reduce unnecessary responses and gain responses when needed on our account. We'll continue to evaluate mutual aid commitments and ensure local coverage is not impacted or least impacted. And we'll continue to align training with EMS demand and low-frequency, high-risk fire events. In summary, our operations remain stable and effective. Primary opportunities for improvement are dispatch efficiency, balancing our regional response commitments with local service demands. My report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from council?
No?
No?
Thank you.
Thank you for the good news. Yep. Okay, next is our Sheriff Captain's report.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the City Council. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our Sheriff's Monthly Report for the month of April. I'm going to get into Part 1 crimes, and then I'm going to transition into just some of the activity that has been going on throughout the city and some of the arrests, notable arrests, and some of those things that have been occurring. So for Part 1 crimes, they were down by 2 from the month prior, total of 20 Part 1 crimes. There were no homicides. There were no sexual assaults reported, robberies, 0. There was 1 assault. There was 3 burglaries that were reported, vehicle thefts 2, and then theft or larceny or petty theft was 14, and there was a total of 0 arsons that were reported. Trespassing or trespassers, if you will, in certain areas where there's posted signage, whether it's within businesses or within certain areas outlining the city, have gone up a little bit. There have been a couple of notable arrests that have actually occurred where individuals are going in illegal camping in certain areas. They've been contacted by deputies and they have been held accountable accordingly. And so that's something that the POP deputy, as well as other deputies within that are on patrol, are enforcing. Obviously, we can give warnings, but I do encourage anybody that is listening in, if you are trespassing on land that you shouldn't be trespassing on, and there are posted signs and such, you will be contacted and you will be spoken to. Hopefully, we can come up with a peaceful resolution, and you can understand the first time, but if we got to continuously repeat ourselves, then action is going to be taken, and there have been several arrests during the month of April for that. One significant arrest on April 1st, and we had a subject that was going back and forth from neighboring cities that was exposing himself. He was ultimately contacted over here near County Line Road. He was contacted behind a business and ultimately taken into custody and arrested. He did have an outstanding warrant. I wish this was an April Fool's joke, but it's not. It's an actual real case. And so that individual was also having a mental health episode. So he got his help, but he's also was arrested for some of the violations that he did commit. So, and he'll hopefully seek treatment and get well. With that said, the deputies have been continuously doing traffic enforcement. So those listening in, there is increased enforcement that has been going along Calimesa Boulevard, Avenue L, and some of the others. And so we just ask people, speeding is always a continuous issue. California Highway Patrol just did an enforcement over here along the 10 corridor and throughout the state, and it does become an issue, and so we just remind people to slow down. And then lastly, just one announcement. We are going in the month of May, May 20th, the Riverside County Peace Officers Memorial will be going on down at 4102 Orange Street. in front of the Safe in His Arms Memorial. And so essentially what we do is a memorial run for those brothers and sisters that have fallen within our profession. And so if you're available, please come on down and support. I know it means a lot to the families, both existing and previous and so forth. And it would mean a lot for those listening in to actually come down and be part of that. Other than that, I don't have any more notifications or anything. I would be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, please, Councilmember Molina.
If you can hear me, kind of a segue from your speeding enforcement, are you noticing any of the kids on bikes, like e-bikes? That's a big issue. I know where I live, they're not stopping at the stop signs. And I understand from, I think it's Orange County, where a parent is now responsible because one of those kids, a youngster, killed someone. And so I was wondering what your activity has been in our city with that.
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So when it comes to e-bikes, electric bikes and such, this is something that legislation is catching up with within the legislation and the laws. It doesn't mean that because legislation is catching up and those things are happening, that we don't have a California Vehicle Code that applies to some of those violations. To answer your question directly, we are on the lookout for these e-bikers. Call them e-bikers. I don't know if that's the right term or not. I guess that's what they're commonly referred to as. But with that said, there is enforcement activity pertaining to those. Sometimes it just depends on the type of e-bike. Without doing an actual presentation, you have different classes of e-bikes, and some are very familiar with it, those that are common riders. You have the Class 1, Class 2, Class 3. 28 miles per hour there's all kinds of different factors that come along with e-bikes in general. Sometimes you see the little mopeds or the little small bikes that are really loud. Those are illegal, especially when they're not registered. You cannot ride those on a public highway. If we do find you, we do see you, we do stop you, there's a chance that your vehicle is going to be impounded. But yes, that activity is coming up, and it is definitely, I don't want to say an epidemic, but it is definitely a concern for many communities throughout.
I had, he couldn't have been more than 15, raced me in my truck today, and he won. And the speed limit was 50. Kind of scary.
Yeah, so a lot of times these things are modified. Sometimes parents, without their knowledge, sometimes they're modified, sometimes they're not. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that we come into. It is important for those parents that are listening just to make sure that they know, even though you can buy something online and those things, it may not necessarily be street legal, and you shouldn't be operating on a public highway.
Good question, Councilman. Any others?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Captain, for that report. In reference to the homeless or those that have been contacted on properties, do you have a database? Are you guys keeping a database or POPCI for the 602s?
Oh, yes. You're talking about 602 letters?
Yeah.
Yes, that's another great question, and I apologize for not actually bringing that up. We do encourage those that are listening, whether you're a business owner or you are a property owner, obviously if you're having an issue with trespassers, we do have a 602 letter that you can actually put on file. It does require a notarization. You have to actually get notarized. There is some frustration on that, just to let the public know in general. There's legislation that's going through to where they expire in a year. Yeah. They're trying to change that to, I believe, 2 or 3 years. It's either 2 or 3. And so that way it's not as exhausting for these businesses and such, and they don't have to keep repeating it. But to do that, you can contact the Cabazon Sheriff Station. Our front office will be more than happy to answer whatever questions you have. You can also contact one of the deputies if you see them, and they'll be able to guide them on what needs to happen in order to get that.
So yes, to the extent that those have taken advantage of the 602, we do have, so if our POP guy contacts somebody after hours or whatnot, he can make contact to the RP on that?
Well, yes, he can. But I can tell you that the city is very proactive. The city of Calamasa is very proactive when it comes to these various properties and certain properties. I know this because we have 602s on file. But a property owner themselves, whether a business, yes, they can call, and we'll let them know what that process is and get it on file sooner than later. So it gives us the ability to enact, especially late at night, trying to call somebody and those types of things.
And I imagine our guys are being creative with 496, right? Stolen property, which with shopping carts and the like, if need be?
Yeah, shopping carts is definitely somewhat of an issue at times as well. But then there's businesses that have certain things that they have to, obviously have. I mean, there's a whole slew of things that need to be done in order to establish that. But yes, that proactivity is being done.
We do have an ordinance on shopping carts too, that they can follow as well.
There you go.
Yes, and on the 602 letters, our code enforcement officer is also, we're working with him to do some additional outreach to the public as well, in creative ways. So we're going to try to encourage as many people, as many owners as we can to get those letters on file if they don't already have them.
Yeah, perfect. Any tool we can provide to you guys to help alleviate this problem, get them the help that they need if it is in fact help they need, or take them to jail if in fact they need to go to jail. We want to make sure we're doing the best we can as a city to support that effort, so.
Absolutely. And rest assured, if you have a trespasser, you don't have a 602 on file, but you have somebody that's a nuisance and something's happening, please, if you see something, say something, give us a call. We'll come respond, contact you, determine what's going on, whether it's a trespasser, a prowler, whatever it might be, and we'll handle it accordingly.
Thank you.
Sir.
Both of those were good, important considerations. Any others? No? Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. We're moving on to our first and only business item of the evening, item 6 for our community grant award application. So we'll have staff handle this. City Manager?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor and Council. This item is for your discussion or direction regarding a community grant award application. As the council may recall, you approved the community grant program and application process in October 2025 to provide funding opportunities for local nonprofit organizations and kind of a formalization of practice that we had had in the past. Staff conducted outreach to potential applicants, including prior recipients and community groups, to make them aware of the program. The council previously approved the one application received from Calimesa Youth Baseball and Softball. Since we received only one application, it was also decided to accept applications on an ongoing basis until such time we received applications that exceeded the budgeted amount for the program. We received another application completed on April 1st from the Yucaipa Calimesa Veterans Committee requesting $1,000 for their Memorial Day celebration later this month, or ceremony later this month, excuse me. The application and supporting IRS documentation are included in your packet. The city previously provided $500 to the Veteran Committee for last year's Memorial Day ceremony. There is sufficient funding available in the current fiscal year budget to support the request at this point. Staff is seeking council discussion and direction on whether to approve and at what amount for the grant. And that concludes staff's report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. We also have public comment. So at this time, I'm going to invite Mr. George Sardison to come forward and provide his comments.
I appreciate the time to I appreciate being allowed the time to address you this evening on this matter. And we are very grateful to have the opportunity to apply to this program, first of all. Just a little background. I have an old program here from May 29th of 1972 for this very program. I know it was way before anyone around here was cityhood, both cities, but it came out of the archives over at Desert Lawn where the program has always been held. There was probably some gaps in years. I didn't go back that far myself, but it just, I wanted to show you that to illustrate that the program has been around for a long time. And I'm pleased that it's able to be presented in the city of Calimesa. We do our other program, our Veterans Day, over in Yucaipa. So we work with both cities. And you all have a flyer there. I've extended an invitation to all council members. Just for your information, the Honorable Mayor, Mr. Cervantes, will be a guest speaker at our program later this month, along with a keynote speaker. And we have a vintage aircraft flyover. We'll have music by the Yucaipa High School Choir. We'll have a youth choir there doing music. We have the U.S. Naval Sea Cadets posting the colors, brought in by a bagpiper. And so it's about an hour program. any of you that have participated before. I know Councilmember Molina has. And so, again, I extend an invitation to all here. First responder representatives, of course, we'd like to see them. And so I'm available if you have any questions regarding our application at this time.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate you being here. This is such a fantastic event and an important one at that. And you got some really good speakers lined up too. So really good. Yes, any comments?
Yes, I certainly have comments. For you new board members, Ray Quinto, who used to be a councilman here in Calimesa, was on this committee, and I followed his when he passed away. I followed his presence. His daughter Christina was the general manager of the B of A building while we were here, and so this committee has gone through many years on bare bones budget, but has always put on such a great event and has drawn people from many other counties and cities than ours. And so I'm very proud to be associated with it. It's for veterans. It's our tribute to them, but it's also an education for our youth because they come and participate and put the flags on the graves the Friday before the Monday. And then the staff at the cemetery gives a little bit of history for those kids who don't have a military in their family history. This is a great education for them and a great project for the kids at school. And then they come down and take them off. If that still happens, Church?
Yes, yeah, we have the Friday before the event, the fifth grade classes, they march over, came all the way down Desert Lawn Drive. They come in with teachers and some volunteers, and they place flags at all the veterans' locations there. And we're so proud to have them do that. And then they come back on Tuesday and help take them down. And the staff over there at Desert Lawn helps put that together and everything. And so, yeah, you're right. We're leaning more and more to including the youth in both of our activities. And we get a lot of feedback from them and their leaders. And we really appreciate them participating.
Any other questions for Mr. Sardison or in general about the event? Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I attended that event last year as well, and it was a beautiful event. And the participation from the children, singing the songs, and the color guard, honor guard, as you described, it was a beautiful way to honor our veterans.
Yeah.
And so I think it's money well spent, on my opinion. So thank you for your time in doing that and for all your towards that.
Sure.
Any other comments? Okay, so at this time, we need to consider the recommendation or make a recommendation here to staff in regards to the award. So what is the wish of council? Can I get a motion or?
Make a motion. I can move to award the community grant for the amount of $1,000 for Yucaipa Calimesa Veterans Committee.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, 5-0. Yes, sir, please.
One last thing. Those of you that will be attending, other than the mayor, that will be, a participant, please come up and see me because we want to recognize any dignitaries that are out in the audience and everything. So we always want to make sure that those that are there as a visitor, as a spectator, to be recognized. I just add that to my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, and it's our privilege and our honor to support this event, so thank you. Okay, so we now move on to mayor and council members reporting on county and regional meetings and conferences. So, Councilmember Garcia, start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the things that we did attend was the opening of the partial park. It was nice. It was nice seeing the community out there and everybody enjoying the game afterwards. as well with the team as well. Thank you, the city staff, for taking your time and being out there and support the community as well on your day off. I know that's your guys' day to be off and to be with the family, but you guys are volunteering to be here with the community and with our city, so we do appreciate that. Thing for reports, I don't have nothing for reports for reporting, and from the top of my head right now, that's all that I have, and thank you.
Thank you. So, Councilmember Molina?
I've had a bad month. I've been sick, seems like all month, but I did attend an RTA meeting, and it was just routine transit business. But I'd like to ask the council for your support in an announcement I want to make. We lost a community servant, Dan Hughes, with Cherry Valley Rexham Park Committee. I know he and his son Nick, who's a fellow Lion, both very active in the community. He passed away rather suddenly, and so he will be missed. And so I'll provide a flyer. There's going to be a celebration of life on May 22nd. I'll pass the flyer around, but I'd like to dedicate this meeting to the family in our support of the community work that both he and his dad have done. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very saddened to see that and hear of that news. So we will definitely adjourn in his honor. Councilmember Cundiff.
Thank you, Mayor. On the 27th, you and I attended an ad hoc. I guess I can't get too far into that yet, other than to say to the rest of the council at some point there'll be some more information to bring forward, so stand by. But it was a good meeting, productive meeting for what I can say about it. Also attended the park opening, soft opening on the 2nd. It was a great event. I think our planning commission and planning department and public works department and everybody did a fantastic job putting that thing together. City manager, everybody that had a hand in that, great job. And I didn't stick around and play the pickleball, but I understand that you and Mayor Pro Tem Manley had to be shown up by some of our local pickleball players, and
We did indeed.
so that's always good. So I appreciate the whole day of hard work from staff to put that forward, so thanks, staff. And lastly, today I attended a WRCOG meeting, and I will forward you guys that information, and I believe Darlene had also printed out the slides and information for today for your viewing pleasure. So at your leisure, please browse through that. And one last thing to remind everyone about is the WRCOG annual regional meeting that will be happening. So if you have not responded to Darlene's requests, or if you plan on attending that event, please let Darlene know so she can do a proper head count. And this year's keynote speaker is Tony Hawk. So Tony Hawk will be there to speak at the WRCOG event, and so look forward to that. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, appreciate that, especially the comments about us getting whooped. Facts. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. April 21st, we attended the public safety ad hoc meeting, and then May 2nd was the soft opening of Mountain View Park. So I do appreciate staff's work on that, being out there again on a Saturday, but it's going well over there. There's a lot of different groups showing up there day and night, so the park, I think, is being very successful so far. So it's good to see people out there getting some physical activity going on out there. I do appreciate the pastor from Garden City coming in doing our invocation, so it's good to see that finally getting started. And for our Veterans Committee, I appreciate you guys getting involved with our grant program. So I'm glad to see we've really been able to give back to some meaningful groups in our community that are already giving back. So I think it's working as intended. So thank you for that. And that should conclude my report.
Thank you, sir. So I did also attend the 2x2 ad hoc with Beaumont, as Councilmember Cundiff referred to, on April 27th. We'll have more info on that to come. The same day, we also had the budget workshop, as everyone knows, and I think we were all in attendance at that. And then on May 2nd, I did attend the soft opening for our new Mountain View Park. Fantastic. Want to echo the words of other council members and say thanks to staff for all your hard work, and not only that event itself, but just in all the legwork that was done to get the park to this point. It's really a fabulous park. I've been getting so many comments and feedback from the public on that park, and they're just so excited and proud to have that in our community. So thank you. And I also want to especially recognize Mayor Pro Tem and his contributions to that as well. He was part of it since the inception. Part of it was his work, and I was remiss at the opening to not recognize you. You recognized everyone else, and so I wanted to take the time today to recognize Mayor Pro Tem's contributions to that, since the park, your service on the Parks and Trails Commission, 6 years ago started this idea? Fantastic to get to this point. So thank you, and thanks to everybody who had a hand in it. It was a great day. I also attended the RCA, Regional Conservation Agency, today, and I will have comments or summary for all council members to come. Thanks also to Pastor Brad for being here and the invocation. We appreciate you, and to our news mirror for being here. Thank you as well. And City Manager, it is your turn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to thank staff for all their work on the pickleball clinic this past Saturday, and also to Mayor Pro Tem Manley, who was an integral part in putting that event together. He did a lot of work to help get the groups together that put the clinic on, so we appreciate that. And I also wish that Monty were here. So if she's watching, I want to thank her, echo your comments, Mayor, on the park itself, because she managed that project, and so she did a wonderful job managing that project and bringing it to the finish line. Although I hope that part of me hopes that she's not watching, because she's supposed to be off taking care of herself. So hopefully she's doing that and resting. So, and finally, I do want to just give you a quick update. Caltrans has begun a $146 million pavement rehab and safety project along I-10 between Calamasa and Beaumont. So the construction, the signs started going up this week, and it's expected to continue through fall 2029. So the project focuses on improving pavement conditions, upgrading safety features, enhancing ADA accessibility, and installing fiber optic infrastructure. So that infrastructure could help with smart traffic management systems in the future as part of that. While these improvements will result in a smoother and safer roadway, however, it is important to note that this project does not add any new lanes or increase capacity on I-10. So as a result, it won't address any of the underlying congestion issues in the corridor. So in the short term, residents should expect delays due to lane closures and construction activity, particularly on overcrossing bridges and during peak work hours. So there was a similar rehab project that was done farther east on the I-10 from the 60 to about the 111 down in Beaumont and Banning. So it's going to be something similar to that, that type of project. So fortunately, it doesn't add anything. There is a long-term project on RCTC's list to add a truck lane, but that's on the long-term projects list, so it's not currently funded, so we don't know when that would come forward, but at least it's something that's on their radar so that when funding does come along, it's an eligible project. So that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Council member, the council does have some closed session items, so I'm going to hand it over to our city attorney to make those announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council will now recess to closed session, discuss two items. Both items are conference with labor negotiators. The city's negotiators are the city manager and the deputy city manager. The first item is negotiations with the Calamasa Professional Firefighters Association. The second item is all negotiations with all non-represented city employees, excluding the city manager.
Thank you, sir. And I also want to thank everyone, members of the public, for being here. Appreciate you all, and we will see you next time.